I need to run this by my team. Let me see how everybody else feels about this. I want to make sure everybody is comfortable. Does that sound familiar? Keep listening. This might save your company, your team, your family. Because what you're about to learn isn't just a leadership lesson. It is a survival skill in today's world. I was advising a board chair for a tech CEO in Silicon Valley, a $500 million revenue company growing 40% year over year, deemed the poster child of modern servant leadership. Then in just 18 months, everything collapsed. Why? Here's what the board chairman told me. The CEO was the perfect servant leader, and that's exactly what killed us. What do you mean? I asked. He smiled sadly and said, while he was busy serving, our competition was busy leading. While he was seeking consensus, they were making decisions. While he was protecting feelings, they were growing market share. Their market share dropped from 68% to 12%, while their meaner competitor doubled in size. The CEO, well, he lost everything. He lost his job, his reputation, his confidence, all because he was trying to be quote unquote good. But wait, it gets even more disturbing. A recent Harvard study revealed a shocking finding. Companies with extreme servant leadership models are 67% more likely to fall behind in rapidly changing markets. Yeah, you heard that right. The very leadership style that has been preached as the holy grail is actually making companies weaker. Think about that. While you are asking everybody's opinion, avoiding tough decisions, protecting team comfort, your competition is moving at lightning speed, making bold choices, building resilient teams. In today's world of remote teams, rapid change, constant disruption, servant leadership isn't just weak, it's dangerous. Here's what nobody talks about. When you overserve your team, you create dependency. When you avoid decisions, you create paralysis. When you protect too much, you create weakness. Now, here's the big takeaway on this. The strongest teams, the most successful companies, the greatest cultures, they're not built on serving, they're built on empowering. And there's a huge difference. Let me break this down. Servant leaders focus on comfort and consensus and protection. Real leaders focus on growth, decisions, resilience. Think I'm being harsh? Let me document other stories of proof. Look at Microsoft under Satya Nadella. When he took over, everybody said, be gentle, don't rock the boat, take care of the team. Instead, he killed sacred cows, laid off 18,000 unnecessary people, forced Windows to play nice with competitors. The nice guy choice? Protect jobs. The strong choice? Save the company. The result? Microsoft's value is up 7 times over, 700% since 2014, while their gentler competitors gone, acquired, or fighting for survival. Because building strength beats delivering servitude. Here's another. A hospital CEO that I worked with was loved by everybody, always available, always accommodating, always serving. But patient outcomes declining, staff burnout rising, costs exploding. Why? Because she wouldn't make the tough calls, wouldn't confront underperforming doctors, wouldn't enforce new protocols. Until the board stepped in, forced decisive action, and guess what happened? Patient satisfaction increased 47%, staff satisfaction increased 82%. But here's what really matters. Lives were saved, because sometimes the most caring decision is the hardest decision. Strong leadership actually serves patients and teams better than servant leadership does. And a family business owner that I mentored was destroying his company by trying to make everyone happy. He wouldn't fire his underperforming brother. He wouldn't confront his entitled son. He wouldn't enforce basic standards, all in the name of keeping peace in the family, being a servant leader, putting family first, until one day he realized, through much convincing, that the most loving thing that he could do was to be strong enough to save the business that fed the family. He made the tough calls, finally, set clear boundaries, demanded excellence. The result? The business thrived. The family respected him more, and his servant's heart finally served its true purpose. The final example that I'll give you is one that I featured in Success when I had Netflix's CEO Reed Hastings on the cover as Entrepreneur of the Year. In 2011, Reed made one of the toughest calls ever. He forced his company to split from DVDs, all to go all in on streaming. He didn't just make the decision, he owned it. He didn't poll his team, he led his team. He didn't seek consensus, he created clarity, and his team hated it. Customers revolted. the stock crashed 77%. Everybody said, this isn't servant leadership. He should be listening to his people. He's destroying the company. And here's what I love. Reed responded with, my job isn't to make everybody comfortable. My job is to make everyone capable. Fast forward to today, Netflix is worth hundreds of billions of dollars. Their main competitor, Blockbuster, gone. Why? Because sometimes the most caring thing a leader can do is to make the uncomfortable decision. Here's where most leaders get it wrong. They think servant leadership means making everybody happy, getting everybody's buy-in, avoiding conflict at all costs. But real leadership, it means something entirely different. It means making people stronger, not making them dependent. It means building capability, not providing comfort. It means pushing for growth, not protecting from pain. Strong leaders don't ask, how can I serve? They ask, how can I strengthen? They don't ask, is everybody comfortable? They ask, is everybody growing? They don't ask, what does everybody think? They ask, what does this company need? This isn't just theory. The McKinsey study showed companies with decisive empowerment cultures outperform consensus-driven cultures by 3.2 times. That's 320% in long-term value creation. So, for you, grab your Darren Daily Journal. Here's what you want to think through. Number one, audit your leadership style. Where are you choosing comfort over growth? Where is serving creating weakness? Where is consensus causing paralysis? Number two, identify your empowerment opportunities. Which decisions have you been avoiding? Where does your team need to be stronger? What tough calls need to be made? And then number three, create your elevation strategy. How can you build capability? Where can you push for growth? What boundaries need to be set? Because here's the stark truth. Your team doesn't need a servant. They need a leader. Your company doesn't need consensus. It needs direction. Your culture doesn't need to be protected. It needs elevation. That is exactly why, in our Hero's Journey program, we focus on building heroic leaders, not servant leaders. Leaders who can make the tough calls, set clear boundaries, drive real growth, build a culture of genuine strength. So, let me give you permission. Permission to be strong, permission to be decisive, permission to be uncomfortable, because that's what real leadership requires. Even Abraham Lincoln, known for his compassion, fired generals until he found Sherman and Grant. Not because he was cruel, but because winning the war was the most humane thing he could do. Remember, the greatest gift that you can give your team isn't servitude, it's strength. All this applies to leading a sports team, a church congregation, a nonprofit group, and a family. So, share below, where have you been too servant focused? What tough call do you need to make today?